Lite, my MVVs, welcome. Yes, sir, Lite. What we are hearing today is something else. So they said there was an Olokun festival drama. They said a young virgin priestess prophesied doom to Ebony. The queen of light, Queen Naomi, will be your doom. They said it came from nowhere. It was a very shocking exposition. You do know that the Olokun festival, these are, community of people with like minds, okay? And so whenever there is this festival, they call them and they all come out, okay? It's their culture, it's their tradition and all of that. So being that everybody who was a part of this festival was one of them, it was one of the biggest shock that Ebony received that this was coming from, a young virgin. They said she just went into a trance and she started talking. It was almost as if something entered her and she started talking. But let's start with the Olokun festival. The Olokun festival is one of the most spiritually significant and culturally rich celebrations in, Yoruba tradition, held annually in reverence to Olokun, the deity of the deep sea. It symbolizes wealth, fertility, mystery, and the unseen power that govern the ocean and all that lies beneath. Olokun is deeply respected, believed to possess the key to spiritual and material riches, okay? The Yoruba people honor Olokun as a powerful Orisha who brings blessing to those who are faithful and destruction to those who bring shame, all imbalance to the land, okay? Now, during this sacred festival, traditional worshippers, priests and devotees gather in white, garment near the waters, offering prayers, dancing, chanting, and sacrifices. White signifies purity, as we all know, right? And it's believed that Olokun prefers peace and order, okay? Drums echo into the sky, incense thicken the air, and praise chant, incantation passed down through generation. But in the midst of all this splendor and devotion, the unexpected often happens. Visions, trances, and divine prophecies are not uncommon, especially when the spirit chooses to speak. It is not a small something, Odela, right? They say this year's Olokun festival was held in, Ilaje, okay, the ancient town of Ilaje, where the waves of the Atlantic Ocean kiss the shores gently, and ancestral energies are said to be strongest, okay? Crowd gathered, royals in attendance and dignitaries from across Yoruba land were seated in honored chairs under wide canopies, seeking, all soaking in the spiritual, spectacle, okay? Now, this year's festival, among the many, people who were there, Ebony was there. Of course, you know how she is with all of this traditional stuff. She loves it. She is proud of it. She will hit her hand in her chest and say, yes, so this is where I belong. She, believe that she is a river child, okay? She arrived in her, of course, usual, gonda, okay, dressed in, flowing white lace adorned with silver coral. She saw her head and everything, the things she was wearing, very magnetic, okay. As we are hearing what is going on, they say they welcomed her, of course, as the wife of the Oba, right? Now, the elders who were there, some of the women, before Ebony arrived, they said there were murmurs that there had been talk of unrest in the spiritual realm, whisper that Olokun was displaced, that the water spirit had not tasted peace in many moons, okay? Now, the highlight of the festival came during the sacred dance of the priestesses, okay? Among them was a young virgin priestess named Adesewa, okay? They said this girl is barely 16 years of age, the daughter of a powerful traditional lineage, but known for her, quietness, purity, and prophetic gift. She had undergone years of spiritual training, untouched by man, dedicated to the service of Olokun, and had never before spoken publicly. Her role is mainly to dance, to offer her spirit, and to, remain unseen. That this girl's name is Adesewa, okay? But as the drums hit its peculiar rhythm, something shifted. Adesewa suddenly stopped, okay? Her eyes rolled back, her body stiffened. The crowd grasps, the drumming ceased. Then she fell to the ground, not unconscious, not overtaken. She began to speak in tongues, okay? You notice they are local speaking in tongues, the way they do it. They know what they are saying. Most times they do incantations and all of that. They say no one understood at first her voice, not her own, that the voice was not her own, that the voice was deeper, older, sorrowful. The chief priest stepped forward trying to calm her, but she raised her hands and he froze. Okay, then clear as day in Yoruba, she began to speak, and the festival ground fell into silence. They said that was what happened. Oh, this is what we are hearing. They said she said, Ebony, daughter of the morning mist, okay? Queen of light, okay? Yes, so that Ebony, daughter of the morning mist. Yes, so they said when people could hear what she was saying the interpretation in Yoruba. She was saying, Ebony, daughter of the morning mist, okay? You have danced with shadows. Adesewa in turn, her voice echoing unnaturally, okay? The sea has rejected your offerings. The spirit of the deep have seen your heart. They have counted the tears of the daughter of light, Naomi. Hey, I don't even know how to say this again. No. Are you people hearing what we heard? They said that this Adesewa, this virgin, fell on the ground, and the voice that was coming out of her was very thick, older voice, and the voice was sounding so loud, using Yoruba to speak, calling Ebony the daughter of the morning mist, okay? That they see that she has been dancing with shadows, that the sea rejected her offering. The spirit of the deep have seen her her heart. They have counted the tears of the daughter of light, Naomi, the one whose tears flow, pure as the water that Ebony mock. Are you hearing? That the daughter of light, the one whose tears flow pure as the water that Ebony mocks. They said Adesewa continued, okay, still in that trance. Adesewa referred to Ebony as the mother of two. And Adesewa said, Naomi, the one whom the gods planted in the palace, the one whose path you tried to darken, she has been lifted above you, and your name has been etched in the waters, not in gold, but in rose. The spirits are not sleeping. They said this lady, this Adesewa, continued, okay? They said the young princess turned her head slowly until her gaze landed directly on Ebony. You scheme, you lie, you bewitch, and the river spirit, remember, for every charm, for every tear you cause to the daughter of light to shed in silence, the deep has counted. Your accomplices in the palace, those who laugh, who pour libation against her, who plotted with you, none shall escape. Olokun has spoken. They said this was what happened in that year Olokun festival, and they say Ebony could not believe what she was hearing. That was how she just went cold. When she came with so much enthusiasm, with people waiting for her, and they were going round the water where they were, running their incantations, throwing things into, and all of that. They say Ebony could not believe what she was hearing in a comfortable place where she was. You know that she was surrounded by her own people this time. But hearing that that was coming from there was something that she could never have thought or believed could have happened there. But what the women started doing, the elders who were there, they say they started chanting, they started praying to soften the atmosphere and all of that. And it was later when she went to go and sit down that her friends and others that came to meet with her and to console her, to see what they can do to appease the waters and all of that. And so now everybody's wondering, where is this coming from? You know, the palace of the Oni of Ife is a very powerful place. These people are traditionalists and they have their own deities that they worship, just like the same Olokun that live inside water. If you know what that Olokun is, they said that it's all about purity, feminism, and wealth and all of that. And anything that represents purity, represents, greatness, like not wanting evil on other people. Maybe that is why this spirit is angry. But where that happened was, something that shocked everybody. And they say Ebony cried her eyes out because it was not just an exposition, it was a very humiliating one at that. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.